Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time I am building it for the 100 baby challenge, which I have definitely done before. A couple of different times I've built one for a mermaid family, which was pretty fun, and I've been considering doing it for the other colts as well. So let me know if you guys would like that. And then I built a suburban home and an apartment, and both of those were within like the last year or two. But since now we got the announcement that the infant life stage is going to be coming, I think sometime next year, the beginning of the year. I forget exactly, but yeah, I am very excited about it. So since I heard the announcement, I wanted to redo the 100 baby house basically and build a new one. And yeah, this is what I came up with. I hope you guys will like it. I really just wanted to build something that was cozy, very suburban, and very pastel. So the interior especially has lots of pastel colors and some of the exterior decorations, but the house in general really could be decorated any way. I considered making this house like pink or baby blue or even yellow. I don't know, the yellow siding that we have in game is like canary yellow. It's so bright. And then we have one that's more of like a very pale, almost like creamy peachy-ish yellow. I mean, you could consider it yellow, but it's not really yellow. So it's not really the color I was looking for. But then I found this siding, and I think I've used it on an exterior before, but it's been a long time, so I really don't remember exactly if I have or not, but I thought it was perfect because you could easily just change this house if you wanted to switch up the colors, and it would fit nicely with a different color scheme, like a more neutral color scheme. But it has hints of like pinks and kind of those softy pastel colors within the wood tones, so I thought that was nice. And then the rest of the house I just made cream because it's nice and neutral, and I thought it matched pretty nicely. So yeah, I don't know, I thought that came together pretty nicely. And the shape of the house I think came together pretty nicely too. Here I'm working on the second floor of the house, and thankfully I start making it just a little bit bigger here, and I think I also add like a little pop out on the side. Originally it's bigger, but then I make it smaller, but I'm happy that I did because I ended up being able to fit 3 bedrooms and a large bathroom on the second floor, and then the 100 baby challenge lady can be down on the first floor, and she has like a whole master suite with an ensuite bathroom and a walk-in closet. I just used one of the closets that came from Get Together. I considered making my own closet, but since I'm not using custom content in this build, I don't know. Walk-in closets are just not the same because, well, I guess we have some open clothes racks now. I mean, it could probably be the same. I guess I really haven't given it that much of an effort. I probably should, because we have Dream Home Decorator and we have clothes that came from high school years, so I could have probably made it work. I don't know. You could do that if you wanted to, but the walk-in closet that came from Get Together is nice because your Sims can woohoo in there, and of course the 100 baby challenge, you're going to be woohooing all the time, so maybe you want new locations. So I guess that's something to think about. But anyways, it's easy to switch up if you prefer something different. And then there is also a garage space and then a playroom too, which is something I really wanted to make sure I had enough room for. So like the ground floor is very spacious. There's like a full kitchen, dining area, a large living room. There's a laundry room, a downstairs like shared bathroom, and then the playroom, and then the whole master suite and garage like I was talking about. So it's quite large. And then the 3 bedrooms upstairs with a large bathroom too. And I just really love the way it came together. I feel like the interior is just so cozy and it just feels lived in, and I really enjoyed using a much more colorful palette for the interior because sometimes I feel like color is just difficult and I struggle with it, and then other times like this it comes together fairly easily. I mean, just because it came together easily doesn't mean it looks good. I mean, some of you guys might think it does, but others of you might think it doesn't look so good. So you can definitely let me know in the comments, but I really enjoyed it and I thought it was really fun, especially the living area. I thought the colorful couches that I used worked really nicely. I used the ones that came from high school years because both of the couches, or at least well, there's another one. There's the more boho looking one, but the couches that I used from that expansion pack I think come in really great, just soft colors. Even the boho one comes in nice, like pastel, sort of like nice subtle colors. Like I feel like sometimes when the Sims team creates a colorful item, there's heavy patterns and heavy like full saturated colors, and not like a soft mix of more subtle tones and then colorful pops, and or even just like subtle throughout. Like if it's colorful, it's usually very colorful, but I think with that expansion pack they did a good job with more subtle colorfulness, so hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I really just love the living room. It's probably my favorite room in the whole build. I also like the kitchen, but I think the living room is my favorite. But you guys let me know if you have a favorite. I also really enjoy the kids' rooms. I created 3 different kids' rooms. One is specifically for toddlers, and then 2 other rooms that I figured could be a mix between kids and teenagers. I tried to keep them pretty general with the decoration so you could easily fit all different types of children in here, because of course it's the 100 baby challenge and you're gonna go through all types of kids and teens, and they're gonna have all sorts of personalities and interests, and I mean, you could easily switch up the decorations, but I tried to give like a variety of like posters, and not specifically to like just science related things, or just I don't know, sports or animals or arts and crafts, or whatever the themes may be. I tried to keep it more general, and I actually have been doing that a lot recently, and I feel like I enjoy my kids' rooms even more. Like they're still my favorite rooms to decorate, even if I don't do anything really too crazy. But recently I've been trying to give them like a mix of personalities and not specific, like sticking to a specific theme necessarily, and I've been enjoying them even more, so it's pretty exciting for me because they're already my favorite rooms to decorate. But for these ones I tried to stick to color schemes, but not like a monochrome one. Sometimes I like pick like a blue room or a green room or a pink room, but this time I tried to pick like 2 or 3 different colors and then kind of mesh them together. So it was really fun for me, and I think it turned out really good. Over here is the backyard, as you can probably tell. Right now I'm just picking out different activities, and I really wanted there to be a variety of like play equipment. So there's the toddler slide, there's the swing set, there's a toddler swimming pool, as well as a real like big swimming pool, some planter boxes, and there's also the balloon bucket and a cooler, and I really just had no idea where to go with it from there. I just kind of was picking out the activities, and I did the landscaping on the front, but I come back to the backyard at the end of the video just because I was getting kind of stuck with it. I even tried decorating it a couple of different times, and I don't know, just something about the landscaping or the way I was placing the objects, I just wasn't liking it. So I figured I would just leave it and come back to it at the end and see what I could do differently, and I'm really happy that I did, because it just turned out to be a really nice backyard, and I feel like if I was going to like push through originally, it wouldn't have been as nice. And this happens every once in a while. I'll just kind of struggle with a certain part of the build, and it's like, okay, just leave it till later and an idea will come to you. But I mean, I didn't really do anything that differently. It was just something about the way I was placing the objects that I wasn't liking. I don't know, it's just kind of weird that it happened that way. But I also decorate the porches at the end of the video. So the front porch, I put a chess table just to add an activity out there. And then on the back porch, I add a barbecue or an outdoor dining table. And then also that play tent that we got recently in, I forget which pack it was. The play tent, did it come with Dream Home Decorator? I feel like it may have, but I'm not sure. But the play tent for kids or toddlers, it comes in a few different swatches. There's like the gingerbread house one, there's the farm one, and then there's like a black and white one, and I think there's a spaceship one too. But anyways, I used the farm one and I placed it on the back porch, and it actually fit pretty nicely, and I didn't have to size it down. Every time I've used that object in other situations, I've had to size it down. So I was pretty happy about that. I also put a dollhouse out there because I didn't end up fitting one anywhere else in the build, and I just thought it looked so cute. So you'll see that at the end. But here I'm moving on to the interior, starting off with the living room first. And I picked out the flooring and the wallpaper. I'm using the house on a foundation, so you'll notice that the wallpaper is actually like cut off a little bit. So the wainscoting is just like a small trim at the bottom instead of being like a half panel or like a, because it's more of like a quarter panel. But I really like this combination of this particular wallpaper and this flooring. The wallpaper, if you don't recognize it, came with the Caribbean style update that we got at some point for base game. And there's a few different swatches of it that have like leaf textures on the wallpaper, but I like this plain solid swatch, and I think it just pairs nicely with this flooring. I've used them in combination with each other a couple of different times. But yeah, these are the couches that I was talking about. They came from high school years, and I think they just look so good. I love the yellow and the more sort of like minty color on the other couches, and I love all the pillows and the throws, and I just think they're so cozy. And then over here is the TV and fireplace. I decorate the top of the fireplace with some books, and also I think like a couple of like plants and this plate that came from Parenthood because it has like the kids drawing on it. I think it adds such a nice decoration to a home, like a family home interior. I also placed another one over on the side table along the wall with the bookcases and stuff, and I thought that looked really nice. And I also really enjoyed placing that basket underneath that side table. I thought that looked pretty cute. But there I was just raising up the objects because for some reason when I move objects on platforms, sometimes they drop in weird ways, and I was trying to fix it by raising up the fireplace because I think that's normally what causes it with the fireplaces. But I used the tool mod to raise them up slightly, and then I thought the books were still cutting through the fireplace, and so I raised them up even more. But those books were just really short, and I didn't realize how short they were, and I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, over here is like the entryway. I considered closing it off and making just like proper entryway, I guess, that just had archways leading to the kitchen area and then the living room. But I actually really liked how open it was, and I do end up changing the wallpaper that's on the staircase itself just because I felt like that area ended up looking kind of bland. And so I bring that wooden siding on the exterior into the interior in that spot, and I thought that was kind of nice. But over here is the kitchen. As you can tell, for the kitchen I'm actually using these counters and cabinets that came with Jungle Adventure. I tried using the ones that came from Dream Home Decorator because I wanted that sort of wood tone in here because I thought it would kind of tie nicely to the exterior, but the Dream Home Decorator one that I was trying to use, the tops of the counters were just so bland and like white and like a solid white and like no texture to them, so I just felt like it looked a little bit plain. And I really like these cabinets that came with these ones because you can see into them and see like the colorful plates and dishes and stuff, and so I thought that would be nicely with the more like colorful interior. And the refrigerator that I'm using came from the Country Kitchen kit, and I loved it in this like powder blue color. I thought that was pretty cute. But then the stove and the oven, that all came with Dream Home Decorator, but I thought that looked really nice. Then there's also a teapot and a microwave and then an island with a sink. And then over here at the end of the room is going to be the dining space. So the dining space can only fit 6 Sims, but there's going to be 2 high chairs for toddlers, and then there's also the seating area at the island. So really you could fit a lot more Sims in there than just 6. I mean, you could fit more than 8, but I figured having a 6-seater dining table wasn't that big of a deal because there really wasn't the room in here to fit an 8-seater table. And I mean, there's probably going to be like 2 or 3 babies probably at one time. I really don't know. I've never played this challenge myself, so maybe I'm not the best person to build one of these homes, but I feel like you would probably have a couple of babies and a couple of toddlers, so maybe you don't need that many chairs at the dining table. I don't know. But I really wasn't sure where to place the toddler chairs. I ended up placing them over there underneath the aprons, and I thought that looked really nice. But I thought this dining area turned out to be so cute. I loved these chairs in combination with this table that came from Dream Home Decorator. The chairs came from what is that called? The My Wedding Stories pack. And I love these chairs. The design of them I think are just so pretty. But this pastel color was perfect. I thought it tied in really nicely to the couches in the living room. And then we have the yellow in here, and I just thought it looked so cute. There I just placed the hamster cage in the playroom area. So that room over there is going to be the playroom. And in there I add a bunch of different activities for kids. I think it turned out to be so cute. But there I actually remembered a vacuum, and I recently remembered the vacuum in an apartment that I did, and I am very proud of myself because I've been talking about this for such a long time, that I love that we have vacuums in game because it's such a realistic decoration to have, especially in like a family home or in any home. I mean, you need some way to clean your floors, but I guess if you don't have carpets, then maybe you just have like mops and brooms and stuff. But anyways, I always remember brooms. Like most of my builds have brooms, but I hardly ever remember the vacuums. But I think that's because you can't, the way I use the catalog, I don't typically go to, I think it's under appliances in the miscellaneous category, and I just don't typically go there, so I forget about them, but when I remember them, it's very exciting. And I thought it was perfect in this build, especially to have just in the living room, because then you could just feel like somebody had just been vacuuming currently. Of course there's just rugs, but they need to be vacuumed too, so I don't know, I thought that was fun. But anyways, there I quickly decorated the laundry room. I'm not really sure how much you would want to do laundry in this challenge because I feel like the challenge itself is already going to be very time consuming with that many babies and toddlers and children and stuff to worry about, and I think they have to build a lot of different skills, and so you're going to be pretty preoccupied with making sure that they're staying on top of it. So maybe laundry wouldn't be at like the top of your list, but maybe you really want that like realistic aspect of having laundry to do. So it's there. If not, then of course you could just repurpose the room for something else. So you could make just a decorative laundry room or something. And then over here is the downstairs bathroom. I ended up only putting one toddler potty in there. That might not be enough, but there is another one upstairs. You could probably easily fit two in there. I just didn't really like the way two looked. So it was more of just like a style or a aesthetics preference, I guess, but you could easily just add another one. I also only add one bassinet here in the master bedroom because that's where I thought you would probably keep the babies, because then you could easily tend to them when they're crying and feed them and cuddle them and play with them and all those sorts of interactions. But basically for looks purposes, I only put one in here, but for gameplay purposes, you'd probably want a couple in here. But this is a really large master bedroom, so you could easily fit a couple more in here and it really wouldn't take away from any of the space, I think. So yeah, I think that worked out pretty nicely, and I loved the furniture that I chose in here. I think the items that came from high school years work really nicely in this style of home. So like this bed in here and the rug and the dresser and that chair at the computer desk, I felt like that just all worked so nicely, and it was so pastel-y in here, and I thought it was so cute. And this bassinet is adorable. It came from Werewolves actually, but it looks so cute with the little moon and the sheep hanging on it. I thought it was so adorable and so much cuter than the base game bassinet, so that's why I chose that one. And then over here I do place a little storage thing. I was thinking this is where you would probably keep diapers and wipes and soft little blankets and stuff, and probably in the closet too, because this sim already has a wardrobe for her clothes, so probably in the closet you're keeping lots of baby stuff. At least that's what I was thinking. And then over here is going to be the ensuite bathroom. The ensuite is fairly simple. I decided to open it up to the master bedroom with an archway instead of having a door, just because I like the way it looks better for screenshots, but you could easily place a door here if you prefer that better, if you want it to be more private. But it's an ensuite bathroom and it's just a single sim living in here, so I think an open bathroom's fine, and most of the time I think an open bathroom for master bedroom is fine too. But yeah, here I'm just adding some clutter items, and it's just a pretty straightforward bathroom with, you know, a shower and tub combo and a toilet and a sink. And then over here is going to be the garage space. The garage is very large. You could add even more activities in here than what I included. I kept the garage pretty simply decorated. There's a couple of things in here. There's a flower arranging table. There's things that look like storage. There's also the trash cans in here, but then I also placed a yoga mat and a punching bag. I was thinking that this is kind of like the mom space when she needs to get like away or exercise or kind of clear her head. She can come in here and, you know, do some boxing, do some yoga, and just kind of relax. And basically the entire house is for the children, and so she has a tiny little spot in the garage, which I feel like it's so realistic, because when you have kids, they kind of, you know, they take over and they become the first priority and you give everything to them. And so I think it makes sense for the mom to have the space in the garage. And so yeah, basically I just tried to find items that I thought worked with the color scheme and kind of looked nice in here. I thought these storage cabinets that came from high school years worked really nicely. I was really wanting to use the one that came from Strangerville that has like all of the really nice garage looking items on it, but none of the colors really worked for me, and it kind of looks a little bit more grungy looking, and this house is supposed to look more cutesy and not really grungy, so it wasn't working for me, and so I think I made it work anyways. And then over here is going to be that playroom that I was talking about, and I am completely obsessed with this playroom. I ended up picking out this wallpaper. I thought the like little grass detail at the bottom was so cute. Of course it's cut off a little bit because of the platform, but I actually really liked it this way. I thought it looked really nice. But yeah, in here I add bookcases. There's the hamster cage like I was talking about. I also add this TV that came from the little campers kit, and then also some arts and crafts tables. And then I put a couple little chairs around the TV too with some like toys scattered about. There's also the science table. So the kids can come in here, they can practice their science skills, they can play with the hamster, they can watch a movie, they can practice their arts and crafts skills. Hopefully this is enough activities because like I was saying, you need to build up the kids' skills. So maybe it's not enough, but there is the garage. So you could have another playroom technically if you really needed more arts and crafts tables or more science tables or something like that. So there's lots of different possibilities. Also, one of the kids' rooms is quite large and I put bunk beds in there, so there's lots of open space if you wanted to add another activity in there. I decided to make a little puppet show area because I thought maybe one of the kids in there was really into performing, and so I thought that was kind of cute. So you'll see that here in just a little bit. But now moving on to the second floor, decorating the upstairs hallway. For the hallway, it's just very simply decorated, to be honest. There's just a few pieces of artwork. There's this nice little corner shelf that came from Get Famous that I thought worked nicely with the color scheme, and then just just some artwork and stuff. But here I'm going to decorate the bathroom. So this is going to be the shared bathroom amongst the 3 bedrooms. So all of the kids that are in there, which you can fit 2 in them easily. You could probably fit more if you wanted to, but this house can fit 8 Sims. So there's well, even more than that, because there's, no, 8 exactly, because then there's the mom and the baby in the downstairs, and then 6 total with these 3 bedrooms. So yeah, 8 Sims, but I think there's mods if you wanted to have more Sims in a household. I've never played with them, but that might be kind of crazy, but it's a possibility if you wanted to check that out. I don't know of the mod, so if anybody wants to link it or share information in the comments, please do. But anyways, yeah, for this bathroom, I wanted to have a shower and tub separated just because I thought that would work nicely for the layout and like the placement of the windows and stuff. But I really liked what I did with the tub over here. I used these side tables that came with laundry day, and I turned them around so you couldn't see the drawers because I wanted them to feel more like a built-in structure around the bathtub, and I put decorations on them, and I thought that looked so cute. And I just loved all of the colorful robes and towels throughout all of the bathrooms, and like the colorful cabinets, and I loved using the yellow bathtub in here, and I just thought it ended up being so cute, and I don't know, I just loved it. There I was trying to add that like decorative hamper and it wasn't really working out, so I just left it the way I had it. And then over here on the counter, I add a ton of clutter just because I really wanted to show that there's been lots of Sims using the bathroom, and you know, basically just adding more decorations to show that it's more lived in, and there's a big family living here, so I thought that turned out to be pretty cute. And then over here I'm picking out the beds for the toddler room, and so I found that this purple and pink bed had green wheels, and so I thought that would be nice to use with a green bed. And this bed also had orange in it, so this room ends up being a combination between pink and purple and orange and green, which I think when you say it out loud, it sounds like it would not work together, but I think I made it work. I don't know, you guys can let me know, but I thought this base game wallpaper worked perfectly because it has the purple in the back, and then it has the green with the grass and that stripe down the center of it with the different animals. And I was just trying to pick out different decorations that worked for this color scheme. So bringing in some oranges, not too much orange, there's just a couple pops of orange here and there, and then some pink, and then it's mostly purple and green. But I loved it so much. I thought this room was so cute and so playful, and unlike any toddler room that I have ever done, which makes me very happy because the last toddler room that I did, I also felt the same. And I kind of struggle because I feel like we just don't have a lot of decorations when it comes to like toddlers and babies. Hopefully now that we're getting infants, we'll get like a family expansion pack and we'll get lots more. I'm really hoping, like fingers crossed. Even with the update, hopefully we'll get some more that's sort of related to that. I think we're getting like a playpen and stuff. Oh my God, I can't wait. But anyways, yeah, I just kind of struggle with making different themes or different color schemes, but this time I really think I did, and I've never used them in this combination. So I was very pleased with this room. I think it's super cute and just super playful, and I just adore it. So hopefully you guys like it too. And there's lots of room in the center if you wanted to put some like building blocks. I did place blocks, but I put them on top of the dresser. I wanted them to be decorations, but there's plenty of room on the floor for the kids to play and stuff. So it's nice and open in there. Here is going to be the next kids' room. So this one and the other one is going to be a kids and teens room. I figured you'd probably mix them up depending on their personality or however you wanted to put them in the rooms. But yeah, here I was just picking out the beds and trying to figure out how I was going to do the wallpaper. I thought about doing like a completely split down the room of like a green and blue room. But then I don't know, I really wasn't liking it that much. So I ended up finding a different swatch of this bed over here instead of using this one with the hearts. I love the hearts, they're so cute in either that red option or the green option. But then I found this one that is another plaid, and so it just matched the other bed so nicely. So what I ended up doing is doing more of like a mixture of the room, doing blue and green and purple, and just trying to mix it together. But I was thinking that the bed on the right side of the room, looking at it from this perspective, is the teen side, and then the left side is the kids side. I mean, of course, that's not really that important. You could assign each bed to a teen or a kid or both, it doesn't really matter, but that's kind of what I was thinking. There I just sized up that curtain, but when I was taking the screenshots I realized that it's poking down through the porch below, so I did have to resize it. But what I ended up doing is just placing 2 of them over that window, and I felt like that worked out pretty nicely. But here I was picking out posters and decorations, trying to pick ones that weren't too specific on a certain theme, but trying to make this side look more teenagery and trying to make this side look more kiddish. So trying to pick out posters and decorations that kind of go along with that. But I don't know, I really love this room, and I love this purple dresser. I thought that was so cute, and these chairs over here I thought were so cute too. So yeah, I think this nice little desk area turned out to be pretty adorable. And there I just put some floor clutter on the ground next to the teen's bed just to sort of show that it's a teenager side and that's a bit more messy. And then over here is going to be the last room that I decorate. This room took me so long to pick out beds that I wanted to use and like a color scheme that I wanted to use. What I ended up doing is blue and yellow, and I was trying to avoid blue because I already did blue in the other room, but I really wasn't finding any combination of beds that I was wanting to use in here. And I don't know, I just kind of struggled. I picked out items for such a long time, but I eventually decided to use these ones, and then I loved using the bunk beds in here. Right now I have the bunk bed going the opposite direction, and I just didn't notice it, but I do notice it here in just a little while, and I flip it around. But basically in here, I tried sticking with the color scheme, but I also tried picking out objects that were covered in stickers. So I thought this was really cute, and with high school years, we got so many objects that are covered in stickers, and then we also have some from like the kids' room stuff. And so yeah, I don't know, I think I made it work, and I love all the stickers. I think they're so fun. But over here, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this space because this room is so much larger than the other ones. I really wanted to make sure there was more activities for the other kids to do as well. So I thought a puppet show would be a nice way to fill in this space, because I was thinking maybe one of the kids in here likes to put on puppet shows and perform for the other kids. So the other kids come in here, watch the puppet show, and so they can all sort of utilize this extra space since this room is so much bigger than the other ones. And I honestly didn't realize when I was working out the floor plan how much bigger this room was than the other ones, but I really don't think it's that much bigger. It just must be like the shape of it, and then using the bunk beds in here. I don't know, there was just so much extra room in here. But yeah, other than that, I'm just trying to pick out different toys and clutter pieces and stuff around to make it feel decorated and like it has personality, and trying to pick out some things that would be useful for a teenager. So I put that guitar in here. I was thinking the teen would be on the top bunk and then the kid would be on the lower bunk, but same as the other room, it doesn't really matter, and depending on what kids you have at the moment before they like move out, because I feel like once a kid is a teen in this challenge, you're probably getting them out of the house. But I don't know, can they help, or is that like against the rules is the challenge or of the challenge? I don't know. Let me know if you guys know. But anyways, over here I'm just picking out some decorations for the dresser and changing the swatch of the little puppet show booth, and then picking out another one of these fuzzy rugs like I used in the toddler room. But here I'm moving on to the exterior. So like I said, I struggled with the exterior at the beginning, and what I end up doing here isn't too far off. Like I started placing the hedges like I did when I was first decorating it, and placing some of the objects like I did originally. Like I had this diving board over here, I had these lounge chairs over here, but it's a little bit different. It's just like subtle changes, and so just the way I was placing them now was so much better than the way I was placing them originally. Even though it's like all the same stuff, it's just a little bit different. And I don't know, you guys didn't see it, so it probably doesn't really matter or make sense to you guys, but it's just kind of funny how just subtle changes can make a big difference because it's very similar, but it is a little bit different. But back here, like I said, there is all the activities. So there's the toddler swimming pool, there's the swing set, toddler slide, there's planter boxes. In these large planter boxes, I actually put a couple of fruit trees in here. I don't put anything in the smaller planters. So if you want your sim to do some gardening, then that's available, but I really don't know how much time your sim would probably have for gardening when taking care of 100 babies. So it might not be that important of a thing to have in this build, but if you just wanted to use this for a regular family home, then gardening might be something you wanted to do. But here I'm just changing up the color of the grass. I've been doing this a lot recently, but I really like the way it looks. And then I also made the pathway leading to the swimming pool area a little bit more subtle. The terrain paint that I had originally was a bit stronger, and I don't know, I felt like it just needed to be a bit softer. And then here I'm continuing with the landscaping on this side of the house, just more hedges and continuing with like the same flowers and bushes and stuff that I was using. The landscaping, I don't know, for me, for this build, I kind of just struggled with it a little bit more than I feel like I have. I still think it looks cute, but it just felt like it wasn't flowing as easily as it normally does, if that makes sense. But yeah, here I'm just picking out some lighting for the swimming pool, and then I put some lights on the exterior of the house. And so like I said, I do put a chess table here at the front of the house. I also add a rug by the front door and a little planter pot, which I thought looked really cute. This planter pot I think came from backyard stuff, but it was so cute and colorful. I also added a couple of them in the backyard by the swimming pool. And then here on the back porch, I add the outdoor dining table, the barbecue like I was talking about, also the play tent and a dollhouse and like a stuffed animal and I think a couple of other decorations. But yeah, this is basically it for the build. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully my voiceover hasn't been too bad, but my voice is still a little bit scratchy and I'm still a little bit plugged up. But yeah, I think I made it work, so hopefully it wasn't too noticeable. But anyways, here I'm just adding the final few details and decorations like I was talking about, and then we're on to the screenshot. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshot. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
They were in high school when they met, and things got kinda awkward. With sparks in the air, he would stare at her in class, and she would try to act cool. But it was obvious, like, ooh, they would be together, ooh. Then one day she said, write me a love song, 'cause I know you'll make it beautiful. And maybe I'll call you my sweetheart, and promise nobody can steal me away. Then I am yours, 'cause I want you, and I wanted you to know. He looked at her and then he smiled, picked up a pen and paper, and started writing. Probably something about her eyes and how they're always shining, or something cliche like ooh. Baby, I only want you. It's true. And then he said, I wrote you a love song, and I tried to make it beautiful. It's a song about your sweet, sweetheart, and how nobody can steal me away. Yeah, I am yours, 'cause I want you, and I wanted you to know. As he sang, she started to dance, grabbed his arm and took his hand. He held her close under the moonlight as they kept on dancing. And now they're singing their love song, and they sing it kind of beautiful, calling each other sweetheart. I promise nobody can get in their way or steal the show. They're in love now, and I wanted you to know.